If you've ever dreamed of owning a riverfront property, I highly recommend you watch this video. And when we say river frontage, we're not just talking about some tiny sliver of river frontage, we're talking about over 4,000 feet of river frontage. That's over 3/4 of a mile. And to make it even better, with this property, you'll own the land on both sides of the river, which is much rarer to find. And this is not just any river. This is arguably one of the most iconic rivers in the western United States, the Rio Grande River. From the property, you can canoe, kayak, and paddleboard down the Rio Grande River. The Rio Grande River is a magnet for wildlife, including pronghorn, mule deer, elk, and wild horses. From the property, you may also enjoy fishing for rainbow, brown, brook, and Rio Grande Cutthroat Trout. This incredible frontage along both sides of the Rio Grande River is one of the several attributes that make this property worthy of the trophy designation. This is a legacy property, the type of property that will often be in a family for generations. This property has, quote, bragging rights. We've often described land as an original work of art crafted by the hand of God. And some of those works of art are considered masterpieces, and we would classify this property as a masterpiece. In addition to the over 3/4 of a mile of river frontage, you are surrounded by breathtaking views of the iconic Rocky Mountains. The land is bordered on two sides by over 1 million acres of contiguous public land that extends all the way into the Carson National Forest and the Rio Grande National Forest. And if you like what you've heard so far, it gets even better. The land itself is 137 acres in size. This is literally a turnkey property complete with a 3-bedroom custom home, thoughtfully positioned, designed, and built with high-quality custom finishes and attention to detail. Just steps away from the custom home, there is a detached custom workshop that is heated and insulated. I encourage you to stick around. We're going to take you on an in-depth look at the river, the land, the home, and the surrounding area. Subscribe to our YouTube channel so you don't miss out on new properties. Let's start by taking a look at the animation for this property. Here we have the 137 acres outlined in blue. If we look at the unique shape of the eastern half of the property, you'll see that it complements the curvature of the Rio Grande River that flows through the property. Again, there's over 3/4 of a mile of frontage along the Rio Grande River, and you'll own the land on both sides of the river. Let's look at the property on a map. This is the 137 acres. It's a really unique parcel and nearly impossible to recreate. On this interactive map, let's go to the overlays, then we'll click on the contour lines, and let's look at these numbers. The low elevation point measured on the contour lines is 7,480 feet. We know that by documenting the land that this is lower here along the creek, but not low enough that they drew another contour line. And then if we start to look to the west, you can see that the elevation increases around the home where it measures approximately 7,490 feet. Then over here we're at 7,500 feet. Now over on the east side of the river, you can see the elevation quickly gets up to 7,520 feet, 7,530 feet. When we look south as the Rio Grande River flows out of the property, we see that it starts to create a steep slope. And this 137 acres is the last private parcel of land the Rio Grande River flows through before it reaches this portion of BLM land, which is contiguous with so much BLM land that it extends all the way into the state of New Mexico and then connects with the Carson National Forest and the Rio Grande National Forest. If we zoom back in, all of this land along the west bank of the Rio Grande River, this is all public land. We do not see another private parcel until we get all the way down here, but that's not on the Rio Grande River. It borders the BLM land along the Rio Grande, but it does not have frontage on the Rio Grande River itself. Look at how steep this slope is. We go from 7,560 feet all the way down to 7,420 feet. That's over 140 feet in elevation change, which is about the equivalent of a 12-story office building. This is referred to as the Rio Grande Gorge, and this gorge only gets deeper the further you go south. By the time the Rio Grande River reaches Taos, New Mexico, that gorge is almost 600 feet deep. And there's a bridge west of Taos that goes over the gorge named the Rio Grande Gorge Bridge. It's an iconic landmark, and if you're ever in the area, I highly recommend you stop by and experience it. To put that depth of 600 feet into perspective, for any of you Texans, you're likely familiar with the iconic Frostbank Tower in Austin, Texas. This building is 33 floors and measures 515 feet in height. By the time you're at the Rio Grande Gorge Bridge, you could stick that frost-banked tower in the bottom of the gorge and still have almost 100 feet of clearance before you reach the bottom of the bridge. Now let's take a look at this image. You have the river flowing south out of the property. Where it starts to make this turn is where it's leaving the property. All of this area here is gently sloped. In most locations, you can walk down to the river or ride a horse down to the river, even ride a horse through the river. Shortly after the property, the elevation change becomes more dramatic, and you can see it forming these little cliffs. And over here in this area, there's something called the Indian Cave Overlook. There's even signage in the BLM land for Indian Cave Overlook Road. This is about a mile south of the property. What all of this means is that the property you're looking at has the geological designation of being the head of the Rio Grande Gorge. The term head is being used to signify the beginning. That's an incredibly unique and valuable attribute that I believe no other privately owned property could claim. That's bragging rights. That's a trophy. With this property's location, you have privacy and seclusion, yet you're just a short drive from the things you may need, including a hospital, groceries, and supplies. In approximately 30 minutes from the property, there's a regional airport that has multiple direct flights to and from the Denver International Airport each day. It's also a place where you can land your private plane if you have one, and then be at your property in about 30 minutes. Approximately an hour and a half from the property, you can be on the slopes enjoying winter sports at either the Taos Ski Valley or the Wolf Creek Ski Area. We'll explore the area around the property later in the video, but now let's look at this beautiful custom home. This custom home has 3,888 square feet of living space with 3 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms. If we zoom in and look at where the home is positioned, you can see that it is facing to the northeast, where it captures the incredible mountain views that are visible from inside the home. Over here is the detached workshop. Where you enter the home, we're going to call this the northeast facing entrance. Much of what we look at and talk about is captured during the day, and that only tells part of the story, because what you see after the sun sets is considered by many to be just as beautiful as what you see during the day when you're looking out at those towering mountain peaks. Owning this property is like having your own personal observatory. The combination of high elevation, dry air, and almost no light pollution creates the conditions for a nightly spectacle where the sky is covered in a blanket of stars. And this is one of the best places in the continental US where you can see the Milky Way with your naked eye. In this image, we're looking at the northeast facing entrance. Over here to the right is that custom workshop. Within the images, you'll find the floor plan. Here we have the main level of the custom home, and now we're zooming in on that northeast facing entrance. This is inside the home looking out of the northeast facing entrance. Almost all of the doors and doorways within the home are rounded, which is one of the many examples of the attention to detail you'll find throughout the home. This entry to the home perfectly frames Blanca Peak, measuring in at 14,351 feet. Blanca Peak is the 4th highest summit in all of the Rocky Mountains in North America. And from this home, you have an incredible unobstructed view of Blanca Peak. Just off the northeast facing entrance is the north office. Now we'll look at the southwest facing entrance and the south office. At both of these entries, you have this built-in seating area with storage beneath. This is the south office with L-shaped built-in desk and custom cabinets. And there are beautiful views from every window of the home. Now we'll take a look at the family room, dining area, and kitchen. It's an open concept enabling you to have uninterrupted communication with family and friends while also keeping you connected with the beautiful nature. Through this double door, you can see the amazing view of Blanca Peak. This is standing on the other side of the double door, looking at the home and a large patio area. This is standing at the edge of the kitchen, looking towards the dining area and family room, where there's a wood-burning furnace and more of those incredible views. The kitchen provides ample counter space and loads of storage in the custom cabinets. The multi-level island provides additional dining space. There is a gas stove and double sink. We were just here in the kitchen, dining area, and family room. Now we'll look at the living room. We have one of these 360-degree virtual tours. Let's show you around using this application. We're coming in through the south entry. If we look over to our right, this is the south office with that built-in L-shaped desk. We just showed you the family room, dining area, and kitchen. Now let's go look at the living room. We're going to go past the kitchen, down the hall, and then here we have the living room with an entire wall of built-in cabinets and shelving. There's plenty of seating space. If we look across the hall, you'll notice this uniquely shaped and positioned door. This is an electric dumbwaiter that goes to all levels of the home, enabling you to move items between the different levels of the home with ease. This is the primary bedroom on the main level, and again, you'll enjoy incredible views of Blanca Peak from the primary bedroom. There are also double doors to access the southern patio. This image is from the other side of the double doors standing on the patio. These are the double doors to the primary bedroom, and these are the double doors off the dining area. And on the other side of these three windows right here is the kitchen sink, from where you may enjoy the incredible views of Blanca Peak. We'll look at the rest of the home and workshop in just a moment, but I wanted to let you know that if you have a property that you're looking to sell, or a property you have been trying to sell but are not getting the results you desire, we may be able to help. Whether you're the property owner, the listing agent or broker, the developer, investor, friend, or family member, the first step is to head over to our website, landio.com, and click the Sell button that you'll find on every page of our website. You then complete the simple form. It will only take you a minute or two. Once the form is completed, you'll be directed to our calendar where you may schedule a call to discuss your property and the process. The call is free and there's no obligation for us to determine if your property is a good fit for Landio. So if you have a property to sell, click that Sell button and fill out the simple form. Now let's continue the home tour. From where we were in the living room, we could either go up the stairs to the second level or down this hallway to the primary bedroom. We'll go down to the primary bedroom. It's at the end of this hall. Over here is the walk-in closet. You can see the entire closet is lined with cherry wood. Actually, every closet in the home is lined with cherry wood. Now we'll take a look at the primary bathroom just down the hall from the primary bedroom. There's a combination shower and tub, a single vanity, and behind this door is extra storage. Here we're back looking down the hall from the edge of the primary bedroom. This is the bathroom we just looked at, and there's a door that you can close to separate off this primary wing. If we leave the primary wing and go down the hall, there's another bathroom right here. It's a full bathroom with a steam shower. If we go back to the floor plan, we were just in this bathroom right here. Now we're going to go up the stairs and look at the two additional bedrooms. As we go up the stairs, you can see the railings on both sides. Then once we get to the top of the stairs, you can turn to the left and enter the north bedroom. Here we are in the north bedroom looking out directly at Blanca Peak. And the north bedroom has this beautiful covered balcony where you can overlook the Rio Grande River and take in the unobstructed Rocky Mountain views. And this bedroom has incredible natural light with windows on three sides. If we head down the hall to the south bedroom, this bedroom also has amazing natural light, and these double doors open to showcase the expansive southwesterly views. The south bedroom also has a built-in desk and cabinets. Then as we head down the hall, there's additional built-in storage lined in cherry wood. There's a full bathroom with a shower tub combination, and a spacious walk-in closet also lined in cherry wood. This is the floor plan of the second story. Across from the walk-in closet we just showed you, there are two additional closets for extra storage. We'll go back down to the main level. Now we'll look at this massive walk-in pantry, the utility room, and another walk-in closet. We'll head down the hall, turn to the right, and there you'll find this massive walk-in pantry, and across from the pantry is the utility room. There's a washer and dryer, lots of counter space, and more custom cabinets. There's also a sink and a floor drain. And if we go turn around the corner, you'll find another walk-in closet, again lined in cherry wood. And at the end of the hall, you'll find the entrance to the two-car attached garage, which has heated floors. Before we go take a look at the detached 5-bay heated garage workshop, let's head down to the basement. If we go back into the home, turn down the hall by the utility room and pantry, and there you'll find the entrance to the basement. We'll head down to the basement. Again, we have the double railings along the stairs. There's a security system with motion sensors and alarm notifications when the doors are ajar. And then over here you'll find all of the mechanicals. This is where you access the dumbwaiter in the basement. Here is the boiler system that provides on-demand hot water throughout the home, and a reverse osmosis water filtration system. And the basement is seemingly a blank canvas that you can finish to your needs, whether that be a studio, gaming area, man cave, additional bedroom, or just extra storage. Now let's go take a look at that detached workshop. As a man, I gotta say, this is one of the most exciting parts of the entire home. Because it's so aesthetically beautiful and matches the look and feel of the main home, it's much easier to get approval from our better half. This detached workshop measures approximately 1,488 square feet and has 5 bays with overhead doors. The workshop is insulated and heated. You can see how it matches the details of the main home, including the metal roof. There's plenty of space for storing extra vehicles, farm equipment, ATVs. You could do metalworking, woodworking, turn it into an office, a man cave. There's enough space you could have a man cave and a she shed. The entire property itself is on a water well. There's a septic system, a 1,000-gallon underground propane tank, a cell signal booster, reliable internet, and a backup generator. All of the power and telecommunication lines have been buried so they do not obstruct the stunning mountain views. To summarize this opportunity, there is 137 acres with amazing panoramic Rocky Mountain views. There's over 3/4 of a mile of frontage along the Rio Grande River, which includes land on both sides of the river, and this parcel is the last privately owned land at the head of the Rio Grande Gorge. The property also borders BLM land along the west and south boundaries. There's over 60,000 acres of BLM land directly to the south of the property that is contiguous with additional BLM land that extends all the way into New Mexico and up into the Carson National Forest and the Rio Grande National Forest. On this image here, you see the 137 acres. To the north is Alamosa, Colorado. Alamosa is the largest city in the San Luis Valley. It has a population of around 10,000. In Alamosa, there's a hospital, Walmart, multiple grocery stores, lumber and building supplies, restaurants, and professional services, along with the San Luis Valley Regional Airport, where you can either fly in and out of with your private plane or take a direct flight to and from the Denver International Airport. If you need something closer than Alamosa, La Jara is about 13 miles to the west. La Jara has a population of around 700. In La Jara, you will find the Cañejos County Hospital. There's fuel, a grocery store, a coffee shop, pharmacy, Family Dollar, Dollar General, auto care, and a church. Let's go back to the interactive map and zoom out just a little bit. If you go south, about 80 miles from the property is Taos, New Mexico, in the Taos Ski Valley. You can continue heading south and you'll end up in Santa Fe, New Mexico, which is a little over 2 hours from the property. And as we look around, all of this shaded area, the purple, the green, the yellow, the blue, that's all publicly accessible land. The pink right here, that represents a wildlife refuge. Over here to the west is Pagosa Springs. That's a little over 2 hours from the property. From Pagosa Springs, you can continue heading west into Durango. Durango's a little over 3 hours from the property. Or you could head north up into Salida. Salida's about a 2-hour drive from the property. Then closer to the property, you have Monte Vista, which has a population of around 4,100. That's about 40 miles from the property. It's also situated along the Rio Grande River. Then you have Del Norte and South Fork, Colorado. South Fork is a popular tourist destination and is located about 70 miles from the property. The headwaters of the Rio Grande River begin just a few miles northwest of South Fork up in the San Juan Mountains. From there it flows through South Fork, continuing southeast across the San Luis Valley through this 137-acre property and eventually making a nearly 1,885-mile voyage. And then just beyond South Fork is the Wolf Creek Ski Area. This is about 88 miles from the property and claims to have the largest amount of natural snow of any ski area in Colorado. This 137 acres with 3/4 of a mile of Rio Grande River frontage, bordering over 1 million acres of contiguous public land, surrounded by those panoramic Rocky Mountain views, and turnkey with the 3-bedroom, 3-bathroom custom home and workshop, is priced at $1,895,000. You can view all of the images, maps, and details on our website at landio.com. Once you navigate to the property details page, then click on the Images tab. There are over 200 images of the property and the surrounding area. Click on the full screen icon, then the grid icon to view all of these images in a grid format. You can then click on the one you'd like to see to enlarge it. You can then navigate through the other images or go back to the grid format. You can close out the gallery with the X. Under the Map tab is the interactive map. There is an option to view that in full screen, which will open the map in a new tab. Where it says 360 views, you will find the 3D tour of the home, and then you can scroll down to view the property details in the description. The property is listed with Colorado real estate broker Danny Schufford of Western Life Real Estate. For questions to schedule a showing or to purchase this property, please call or text Danny anytime. His number is 720-232-1350. Again, that number is 720-232-1350. As you continue scrolling down, there's a detailed description. The property taxes are only $2,841 a year, and there's no HOA or HOA fees. There are also no covenants or deed restrictions. As you scroll down through the description, you'll find the distances to nearby points of interest and links where you can find more information about those locations. Here are the GPS coordinates and links where you can open those on a Google map. Again, if you have any questions, you'd like to schedule a showing, or you're ready to purchase this property, please call or text the listing broker Danny Schufford anytime. The number is 720-232-1350. And if you're not in a position to reach Danny by phone, you can simply click the contact button on our website and fill out this simple form. On behalf of myself, my family, and the entire team here at LANDIO, we sincerely appreciate you taking the time to watch this video and ask that you help us make the dream of land ownership come true for more people by sharing our website, our properties, and our videos with everyone that you know. Thank you, and God bless.
LANDIO.com